Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy Podcast, episode 439 for the week of February 4th, 2020. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Kevin.
Toby. No.
Just Toby and Charlie. Thank you, guys. Again, if someone's listening to this podcast and have never listened, they're like, oh, check out this 439th episode of this random podcast. Who are these people?
How much are those?
They were just in like the new. So we're talking about the Iron Studios Thundercats statues.
They're
that were
actually
just
really
solicited
cool,
in,
but
like, new to order.
Okay.
Are they
But
the
they
same?
were like $230 a pop or something.
No! I was hoping that, because they look like the same size as my Dungeons and Dragon ones. So I was like, they can't be that much more.
It's great radio.
Yes, talking about
Hey, anybody who loves Thundercats, these were just solicited. They look
Thunder?
amazing.
Thunder?
They do look amazing.
Thundercats.
I was hoping they'd be the same size as
in the Facebook group.
I was
I could
hoping,
absolutely post it in the Facebook group.
but I was hoping they'd
But
be
if
the
I
same
post it in the
size as my
Facebook
D&D
group,
ones.
I'm going to end up also going there and be like, and look at this Optimus Prime statue I love and finally bought.
Yeah.
Because it's the same kind of thing. Anybody who loves like that old school stuff, some of the stuff they've put out recently just makes my eyes bleed.
But no, it would have gone really nicely next to the D&D ones, but damn, that's a lot more than the D&D ones. Yeah. It would have been nice.
There you go.
Could have had little sections.
All your
My D&D.
80s TV, 80s cartoons.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That was like, so I get Thundercats, D&D, get a He-Man thing going on, which I probably have more than enough of. And Transformers.
See, you know, there's that whole big multiverse He-Man comic coming out right now?
Yes, it's weird.
I pretty much picture you could recreate those covers at home.
I could, with my figures. Yeah. I even have the Dolph Lundgren action figure now.
See? You absolutely could.
Damn, that is pricey. I wonder if, are they bigger? They must be bigger.
Well, they're 1/10.
I have
so
to, while we
we
record, I will look up what size my D&D ones are, because that'd be annoying if they're a different size.
Yeah, but it means like for the entirety of all the Thundercats would be like $1,000. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot more than my D&D ones.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
But the D&D guys are also little. In the D&D cartoon, they're little people. Thundercats are
Normal size.
giant people.
Yeah.
They're big cat people.
But
How tall is a Thundercat?
That's 6.5 feet, 7 feet for the big guy, probably.
The fuck? How do you know this?
Little shorter for the other guys. The people in D&D are all fucking.
They're
all,
teenagers in D&D.
Yeah, they're all tiny.
And the Dungeon Master is a midget.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying that's what I mean. The Thundercats are huge.
But it's still amazing that they
But this is
basically
more than
put
twice the
together
money.
a whole diorama.
You see
For
my
the
D&D one
Thundercats.
though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's fucking phenomenal. I gotta look up what size my D&D ones are.
Well, while Toby is looking up his Dungeons and Dragon figures, we are going to talk about. It's like no comic book. Well, there's a little bit of comic book news
Lionel
this week.
is 6 feet 4 inches tall.
There's a little bit of comic book news this week. It's mostly comic book news and movie and TV news. So we're going to get to some of that here. The big one, I think, while all of us were watching the Super Bowl, obviously.
Hey, I was working here at the shop.
If we could pull ourselves away from those teams that played and rooting for those teams that played, I sure was happy that those teams scored the. I know the 49ers lost. That's all I know. They did show Disney Plus ad, and there's a new Black Widow ad, but like I don't care. I don't need to see a new trailer for Black Widow. But we saw the first footage of the Disney Plus Marvel TV shows.
It is the same size.
Well, just for
That's crazy how much they upped the price for it then.
Well, you'd still have to check because it's 1/10 compared to the scale they're supposed to be.
This is just what
They're
happens for like a half an hour
characters.
before we start recording. It's just this. So
but if
I should
it's
just start
110,
recording this and make it like a
these
bonus
prices
podcast.
are completely different.
Yeah. See, Brock. See.
Anyways,
We saw
you were talking about what?
brief. We saw brief images
of Jennifer Lopez and Shakira.
WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Loki. So we thought
And I was
saw the first
surprised.
footage
Loki
from
we
those.
didn't really get footage. We got
We did.
Which really
Yeah.
surprises me, considering, as far as I understood it, Loki was the first one in production.
Well, they have
closer to Doctor Strange.
They have there was also a talk with Disney's Bob Iger about the release dates for a lot of this stuff. He talked about Mandalorian as well.
Boy, they're super back.
What's that?
The release dates.
Oh, they're what I expect.
You did? You expect to have no new material on Disney Plus for like 8 months?
Just new material every week.
They're having the
like what?
New season in Clone Wars starting this month.
Yeah, and they have like some reality show stuff they're doing. They have other stuff. It's I mean, not Marvel and not Star Wars. Well, Clone Wars, but they have new stuff.
I wish they did like DCU.
They have multiple new shows every single week.
A-list stuff every other seasons or something.
Yeah, I mean they're getting the ball rolling. Mandalorian's coming back in October with more than 2 seasons, as well as the possibility of characters spinning off into their own shows or specials.
Gina Carano show?
I mean, that'd be awesome. She was great. She was one of the best parts of that first season.
I went to her fight in San Jose. She sadly lost.
No. Let's see. So I had the dates here. Where was it?
It's August.
See. What's that?
It's August, I think, for
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
August.
Yeah.
All right. WandaVision is December.
2 months later.
I thought it was December.
Yes, sure.
I believe it's December.
No, but 2 months later is the next show, though, right?
That'll be a Mandalorian season 2.
Well, Mandalorian is October. Right.
Yeah, and then 2 months later.
And then December.
Yeah, it's 2 months, 2 months, 2 months.
December is basically when it ends. When the season ends, the next episode will pick up like a week after for the next, for whatever the next show is, right? So then WandaVision is in December, and Loki is early 2021. So probably following up right after.
I really thought Loki was going to be first.
WandaVision, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I think that's probably going to be connected to Doctor Strange.
Stuff.
No, WandaVision is.
Yeah.
They announced it.
Yeah.
WandaVision is?
I'm surprised Loki's not first just because that was the first one we started seeing, like, pictures from the set and, like, all that. Like, they confirmed that was in production before any of the other stuff even got announced. No, part of that is they could announce that about Loki prior to Endgame coming out and that kind of stuff. So it's possible the rest of this was in development, just more hush-hush.
Yeah, I'm sure Captain Falcon. I mean, if that's the first one out, I'm sure that's. Or
I have to say though, Captain Falcon I'm most excited about though.
Yeah,
I mean they got US
Falcon and Winter Soldier. I got to make sure I say the right word.
Yeah, like
Captain Falcon is that's
Captain Falcon.
Yeah, but it's like a direct almost
Cap
sequel,
and
and US Agent is in there.
Yeah,
and Baron Zemo is in there with the
real
fucking mask.
real Baron Zemo.
Yeah, so
not trash ass Civil War Baron Zemo.
Shut up, man! Don't be a foofy. Yeah, but no, dude. I mean, super excited for that, and I think that's the right way of going with it. Like, I think the WandaVision is going to be slightly different, so it may.
It's going to be like Tom King's Vision series.
Yeah, but I think the normals will take some grooming on that one, and I think Loki might be a grooming thing too. So I
people
think,
know who these characters are.
Yeah, but
Loki of all of them.
Yeah, but it depends what they're doing with the show, though.
I don't think they're going to need to groom anything for Loki. I do agree they're going to need to. I'm curious to see how WandaVision goes, just because in a lot of ways, based on that footage we saw, it definitely looks more experimental.
Yeah.
Versus I kind of feel like Loki is just going to bank a little bit more on just the charisma of
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
Well, the kind of the bigger. Obviously, we get some cool shots of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I don't know that there was anything there that was like kind of stuff you can kind of pick apart. I'm sure there is. I just
tree abuse.
Well, you got to see US Agent.
Yeah, very briefly.
Yeah.
WandaVision, the big one, obviously, is her.
At first I thought the guy high fiving him was Battlestar. Like, there's a dude high fiving him, and I'll like,
Battlestar.
Dude, come on, man.
I'm on Battlestar.
Come on, man.
What's up?
No, seriously, dude. Come on, dude. Remember. Come on, let me touch you like Manhunter style for you to remember.
What is he talking about?
Marvel's Battlestar Galactica?
No. Seriously, don't know Battlestar?
Oh,
let me remind you a little bit. So when
Bucky?
Yeah.
What?
Let me remind you
who is the second, third, and fourth Bucky?
Let me remind you. Well, one is Bucky Barnes. The second one was Rick Ross. The third one was third and fourth.
Talk about Rick Ross.
Rick, what's it called?
Jones.
Rick Jones.
Rick Jones, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Rick Ross is a rapper.
Oh, and of course Jack Monroe. I forgot about Jack Monroe.
Yeah. the Nomad.
Is Fred Davis. Oh, he's in a What If. He doesn't count. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Then Nomad.
Yeah, and then Battlestar.
And then Rick Jones. Yeah. Lamar Hoskins.
So anyway,
he was Super Patriot. Ricky Barnes.
No. So,
fuck are all these people,
dude? So let me give you a little history lesson. All right, when the U.S. government told Captain America he can't be Captain America anymore, D-Man, out of all people, gave Captain America his black suit, right, and became his little sidekick, right? And Jack Monroe was like rolling around with him too, right? And then America picked this other dude to become Captain America.
I don't think I read any of those stories.
All that stuff is really good stuff, dude. And his sidekick was Battlestar. It was his Falcon, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah. So
I recognize the guy now that I'm seeing pictures of him, but I don't
when there's the dude that was high-fiving him, I was like, holy shit, Battlestar's in this too. But I think it's just some random dude high-fiving him.
Okay.
Yeah.
With WandaVision, obviously the big thing that everyone pulled from that is her in her actual costume. Now I'm assuming that's going to be some weird. I mean, it's set up like a sitcom, so like a weird sitcom. So I
think she's losing her mind.
It'll be the adults are having sex scene.
It's probably like a Halloween party or something like that, right? I mean,
do you think she's losing her mind in this one?
Yes,
maybe, yeah,
in an amazing way.
Do you think the twins are going to show up?
That West Coast Avengers, John Byrne stuff, possibly, right?
Yeah.
Possibly.
I am still waiting for Vivi's first appearance to go up.
Well, I don't know if any. I don't think any of that stuff's going to show up. But the visuals of Vision in it are directly out of the Tom King
Vision book.
Walter, what's the artist's first name? I forget. I'm blanking on his first name. Yeah, it's exactly out of that book. So
Leave It to Beaver.
They're gonna. Yeah, well, he's just in that like plaid overshirt and jeans. So
Suburbia.
Very excited for that. But Loki, the big thing everyone pulled up from that very brief appearance is that jumpsuit he's wearing. The marking on that is from the Time Variance Authority. It's kind of like the Linear Men from DC, or what's like Rip Hunter doing in Legends of Tomorrow? What's that group he was part of?
The Time Bureau.
The Time Bureau, yeah, kind of like that, where they're they monitor the timeline, right?
They're time cops.
Yeah, so basically, this has to be. They know that Loki's not the real, like he's from an alternate universe or an alternate timeline, right? So I assume they're going to try to track him down, which could be really fun, especially if they have Loki bouncing through time, maybe like dipping into other movies or something, like going back to like redo scenes from other stuff. That could be a lot of fun. So
maybe that's why it's taken Loki longer to do.
Bigger show.
Yeah.
So yeah, all these shows obviously we didn't get too big of a look, but they do. They're I'm very excited for them.
So you're telling me that Disney Plus is going to see a spike in resubscribing in August?
I don't think resubscribing. I think they're just going to get more subscribers. They're up to 25 million, I believe, is the count they gave. So that's a hell of a lot of subscribers, and they're just going to get more when these shows come out. Especially Mandalorian 2 will draw a ton of new people, and that have kind of hyped from the first season that kind of jumped in late. But the Marvel stuff, once that gets going, it's going to be nuts. Bob Iger also said that there are. In addition to the three shows shown during the Super Bowl ad, there are also 7 other shows in various stages of development. So we have Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision and Loki. We know Ms. Marvel's being worked on. We know Moon Knight's being worked on.
She-Hulk.
We know What If, the animated series, She-Hulk, and Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we know all those are being worked on. So that's 2 more.
I think Hawkeye's in limbo at the moment.
I don't think so. All the shit people keep. There's so many dumb. Oh, they're scrapping. They're gonna put Obi-Wan's not coming out. It's changing, and McGregor's like, no, nothing. That's not true at all. The Hawkeye stuff, I think, is total bullshit. It's all happening. It's gonna happen. There's no way it's not.
I want it to happen.
Yeah, there's no way it's not. So what are the other 2 shows?
Young Avengers.
There's 7 shows. I don't think you get Young Avengers yet. You don't have enough characters for that. You're way short. You're way short people. So
New Warriors, baby.
Well,
New Warriors, baby.
I'd be okay with that.
No, because they'd have pennants. They wouldn't have Speedball.
They totally would have Speedball.
Depending on the timing of it, if they do choose to continue any of the Netflix stuff, I could see them...
Oh, like 2 of those to come over?
Yeah.
Isn't there a giant rumor going on, and I hate the internet, but there's a giant rumor going on that they're already talking to Jon Bernthal to do more Punisher?
It'd be awesome. It was 2 years off, and then it goes to Hulu, right?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that... So, next year, they should all go to Hulu? Is that... Right?
Well, I don't know if they're allowed to use the characters again. It didn't say they're all
they
going to
will.
Yeah.
And the shows will go to Hulu. Where else are they going to go? They scrapped those Hulu cartoons that they were.
Wait, hold on. Are those shows no longer available on Netflix?
No, they are.
Well, they are right now.
But in 2 years, allowed to take them back?
I think next year they'll...
But are they going to continue with the same actors? I mean, they're allowed to use the characters again.
They could.
So from what I understand, there's nothing stopping them from doing that.
Yeah.
Once the time elapses.
Yeah.
Everything I've heard is 2 years. So after the finale, which was about a year ago, so we have
except for Punisher. Supposedly he's in some other clause.
Maybe.
So we may get Punisher earlier.
End of this year, all that stuff would free up. I'm assuming early 2021.
Oh, dude, that would be glorious.
They may not be able to start any sort of real development until they get the rights fully back, but they could do something. I'm
sure they can start development. I'm not sure they can sign contracts fully or anything.
Any sort of Young Avengers stuff. Obviously they could just Runaways. They could just make it and introduce characters in it. But really, Miss Marvel and you know what they're gonna do? Hawkeye. What's her name?
Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop would be the only shoe that would even fit the Young Avengers mold out of these shows. So
maybe they'll do Champions.
Well, right. It's the same thing. Cassie Lang too, because she's in. Yeah. She's a kid, but she could
she could be the new
aging naturally. So
the unstoppable Ant-Man.
That'd be fine.
Or unstoppable Wasp.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
But
I think we're gonna see the New Warriors. I'm calling it now.
Well, so I follow the New Warriors very closely. Everything we've heard, that show is dead.
Yeah, sure.
It's officially done.
Yeah.
So they could be retooling it if they would like the name and if they like those characters.
Look, here's my thought process.
I think a Squirrel Girl show was much more likely than a New Warrior show. Because that's what it was.
Yeah,
it was a Squirrel Girl show.
Yeah, but I hated that show.
You know what we're going to get?
No, but...
Great Lake Avengers.
I mean, that'd be amazing.
I think we're getting New Warriors. I really do. No, because, you have all these shows or already have a audience built in. I think we're going to get that one team show that's new.
Yeah.
So my money is on New Warriors right now.
I mean, I'm down with that.
Yeah. In the first episode, we kill Justice, Nova, and all the characters that Ryan loves.
It seems unlikely.
And then all the Netflix characters take their place.
Yes!
What if they went in the opposite direction and went Thunderbolts?
Thunderbolts have been rumored for a long time for a movie.
I would wait for a lot later and make a movie about it with Baron Zemo from the show, from the movie, to be the leader. So I would shelf that for now.
No, I
would actually have Baron Zemo be that.
Yeah, and it should be, right?
Yeah.
He should be Citizen V. That's, I would think, a not... I think that is a likely scenario where after season of Falcon and Winter Soldier, they throw him into a Thunderbolts movie, leading a team of undercover bad guy. Maybe they're Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah,
undercover bad guys.
Yeah,
but some of them break good, right?
Can they
do another show? Yeah,
it could be.
Can they do Marvel's Suicide Squad? Would that be
no? But yeah, they would definitely.
You know who they can get to do it?
Who's that?
After Guardians 3, just have them do Thunderbolts movie.
Yeah, well, Guardians 3 is a while off. So cool, yeah. It's good TV shows. We're curious when we get some firm dates on those. Very excited.
Can't wait till August when you can hear all about this.
Well, Comic-Con, they're going to have footage for all of it. They'll show the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Just want to remind Marvel and Disney Plus that it's my birthday and it's a big birthday at Comic-Con, so you should just let me in to whatever it is you're doing. Ryan Higgins will maybe show up because he doesn't make decisions till the last minute.
This is actually something that I missed a few weeks ago, but I still wanted to talk about it. J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot is now exclusively developing the Justice League Dark film and TV projects as part of its 5-year deal with Warner Brothers, because J.J. Abrams signed a big 5-year deal with Warner Brothers. I mean, obviously, people thought Abrams was going to do Superman, just not even a question, right? But if...
with his connection on Mission Impossible, too. That would make so much sense.
But if he's doing Justice League Dark, I am okay with that.
Fuck Justice League Dark. Give me Superman.
Well, I mean, are we going to get Matt Ryan?
Don't know. No.
I mean, because technically we've the Crisis established multiples, so we could technically pull Matt Ryan.
He is the Constantine on at least multiple Earths, right? Because he knows.
So we could just throw him in there.
Everything. I mean, I would love it. I would think unlikely, but
we're gonna get another Zatanna.
I'd be fine with that. I mean, to me, I think Superman.
I'm just thinking, have they, other than Smallville, have they used Zatanna in any of the Arrowverse?
No, I don't think so.
That's a little weird.
I would love. I mean, J.J. Abrams on Superman's fucking perfect, right? But I would love to see him or his company do some Justice League Dark stuff too. So, and I like
the deal he signed. I'm assuming this is Project One, not Project Only.
Right. Right. Well, it's film and TV projects as part of a 5-year deal. So 5 years is easily 2 movies and two or three TV shows.
5 years, not
and
much.
Depending on,
plus it's his people. I mean, it's his. So it's multiple teams at the same time.
And him working on development doesn't mean that he's the director or.
Right.
Meaning
he could do one thing.
They could churn out a lot more than 2 movies.
Yeah, in 5 years, you could. I mean, look how many MCU movies are out in a 5-year time period. It's like 15 movies. Yeah. So they could do a lot in 5 years.
I was just thinking, was the character we just talked about Zatanna? Mm-hmm. She was Medusa in the Inhumans movie or show.
Same from Smallville.
Yeah,
that's the same actress.
Yeah, that's the same actress.
Now
really?
That you say it clicks, but I never put that together.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't know. I believe you, Toby. You're always right about this.
No, you don't. You just said you don't believe me by saying, I have to look it up.
Looking at those two people in my mind, they don't look at anything alike, but I'm sure they are.
She went from Smallville to Breakout Kings to another show to Inhumans.
Cool.
And then she met me in Indicator at Comic-Con.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. One other, we have Birds of Prey coming out in just a couple days.
Yeah.
Next week's episode is going to be all about Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
So
don't have to go away.
Look forward to that. This I'm very excited for. DC, for the first time, I think, since the Green Lantern movie, is doing a nationwide, in Canada, comic book advertisements and free comic books to people to go see Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
So there's going to be ads for the young adult graphic novel Harley Quinn Breaking Glass. And they will also, this is all Regal Cinemas. They're going to be giving away special edition copies of Harley Quinn #1. And there will be a free digital Birds of Prey comic book for the Canadian audience. So,
for digital?
Was it?
For digital, yeah.
What? I need somebody to get me a Harley Regal.
What movie did they give the first issue of Throne of Atlantis out at?
Oh, that's right, the Justice League one, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh, what was that?
Was it Aquaman?
No, I don't think so. Was it Justice League?
It may have been Justice League, but I'm not.
It may have been Aquaman, but I don't remember having. I don't remember. But that was not. That wasn't like every.
That may have been AMC exclusive or something. But
yeah, this is Regal exclusive. But I guess okay, maybe they did. So maybe they have. I don't remember them doing that for a while. But the advertisement's a big deal too.
Yeah.
The advertisement's a really big deal. So that's a good push for their their Ink and Zoom books, which are the young adult line. So yeah, really looking forward to Birds of Prey. We'll have a lot more to say about that next week, of course. But the big topic this week, of course. Let me do one comic book news bit here before we get to the big one. Just announced today, DC's Strange Adventures by Tom
Your
King,
favorite person of all time.
Mitch Gerads. I'll remember how to pronounce his name correct one day. And Doc Shanner. Strange Adventures is going to be coming out as a 17 and up Black Label book, which
not Prestige Plus,
right now, just standard size, which is a big, which is a big deal. DC's putting a lot of pressure, or a lot of pressure. Geez, a lot of push behind their Black Label line. So that's cool that they're putting this towards it, which allows it to be a little bit more edgier. Obviously, it's not going to be like graphic or anything, but
So you think?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, first issue. Boom, you're going to see the ding dong of.
Well, we didn't get to read the first issue. DC also put the first issue up on the retailer site.
So maybe second issue you get to see the ding dong of.
So there's like a like shadowed sex scene in it.
Ding dong
panel, but nothing. Not Batman Damned.
Oh,
not quite like that.
You did say shadowed,
but it is. I mean, it was. I wouldn't have blinked if it wasn't Black Label. It wasn't. There's nothing in it. You don't see anything. But maybe they're gonna go a little bit more risque. So obviously not a finalized version, right? Because they do change this stuff up right to the last minute. FOC is this week. Yeah. So if you have not ordered your copy of Strange Adventure, I highly recommend ordering it.
Yep.
Go to Ryan's FOC page on the hub.
You got it.
Yeah.
It goes up for sale first week of March. So we still have a few weeks before it does come out, and obviously there's a big push for DC as we've been short on Tom King releases for the last few
2 months.
Yeah. So
when's the Catwoman Batman coming out now?
It's
late May or later.
Oh,
so
are you gonna do a midnight release for Strange?
No, probably not. I mean, if they do one for Metal 2 or whatever, maybe we'll do something for that. But still no official date on that. But that's May. Like you can mark your calendar right now. It's May. But yeah, so no spoilers, right? Yeah. Obviously, fantastic first issue. Mm-hmm. We talked about it the other week,
except for the sex scene spoilers.
Well, we talked about it the other week about what's his face, the other character in the book.
Oh, Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific, thank you. Wow, my brain just totally shut down.
The one with the balls.
Yes.
Yeah.
How does Mr. Terrific
Ding dong.
How does Mr. Terrific fit into this book?
Yeah.
Like, what's the deal with that? Well, after reading the first issue, yes.
Yeah, I knew you were going to see some balls in this book when it's Black Label.
Yeah, it is very obvious why Mr. Terrific's in this book. And
balls, he has balls flying everywhere.
It's funny. They set something up. And when they set something up, I said, oh, knowing who's in this book, they are going to do this, then they are going to do that. And that's exactly what happened. And I was like, okay, cool. I like that. I could kind of see it coming, but it was a fun, like it worked. It worked really well. So, yeah, fantastic first issue.
Yes, really, really.
And Doug Shanner's art is...
Both of their art, it's like the transition from... Because...
Yeah, he's doing the adventure-y Silver Age stuff.
And Mitch is doing the
current on Earth. Yeah.
And the thing is like they're distinctly different, but they fit so well with what they're working with.
Yep. So. It was fantastic first issue, as expected. And I think we got a question about Strange Adventure 2, so we'll wait till questions for that. But the big topic for this week, talking about comic book movie and TV shows after 8 years, and how many 5 spin-off shows now at this point? 4? Well, 5, 7, 8 if you count the animated stuff. Easily one of the biggest things that has happened to DC on television. And I don't know, maybe ever. It's finally wrapped up. That is the series finale of Arrow. Stephen Amell joint clearly launching the Arrowverse, all the crossovers, the animated stuff, Crisis. All right, we've talked about these guys a lot. We also the finale. All right, everyone? Charlie?
I didn't.
Well, you didn't?
Nope.
What? Have you seen any of this season?
Oh, yeah, I've seen everything but the finale.
What the hell? Why are you here?
Why am I not here? Am I here?
Toby hasn't seen it either.
Me too.
You saw it?
No.
What?
Well,
that's what he was. What he was watching when he was coming in.
Yeah, I was trying to finish it before the podcast.
How much do you have left?
Like
34 minutes?
40 minutes.
What? I guess didn't watch it. I think you were going over to his house to see it.
No, I was trying to go to his house to watch Picard, but that didn't happen either.
I saw Picard.
Well, that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about me going to Charlie's house to watch TV, but that didn't happen either. No, I was going to try and watch it last night. I made it through the second to last episode.
Okay.
And then I fell asleep 4 times in the last episode, and I rewatched it. I got the beginning down. I tell you that much. Beginning, I know.
He knows.
It's just the rest of it, no clue.
I didn't watch this series finale of The Good Place yet either.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't even watched the last season, so
It's one of the only episodes I've seen.
I wanted to. It was on my docket. It's homework.
Ay, you people. Well,
I watched it.
I know.
I tried.
That side of the table.
And then I was trying to leave early so I could watch it in between, and that didn't really work out either. I was kind of watching it in the car while I was driving here. I almost died a couple of times.
Take it to the bathroom with you.
Put it on your little sticky thing in your hood and just watch it in the car. I watch all sorts of shit in my car. It's fine.
And like I said, I almost died a couple of times.
Well, I will keep.
No, I'll just fucking talk about. I mean, Charlie,
I went to the beginning of a Sharks game last week.
What? You went to a Sharks game?
The beginning?
The beginning of a Sharks game.
How do you go to a beginning? You left the game?
You walked in and didn't realize this where he
Wait, did you go to the game? I'm like, I'm trying to experience this. I experienced it. I leave.
Last week at my actual job, we had a big team meeting. We had a hackathon. We had all this stuff going on. And at the team meeting, we did dinner, and then they took us all to a Sharks game. So I went to the beginning of a Sharks game.
Yeah.
Stayed for a little while, and then went, I'm still not a sports guy, and left.
Well, at least you tried, I guess, yeah. Speaking of sports, I went down to LA and I went to the Kobe Memorial. That shit is crazy. That is crazy. The amount of stuff there was a kid that walked right past me with a self-made sign, and he was just went and found a spot and put it down. It was surreal. It was the amount of people that were there, the rows of flowers, jerseys, shoes, print pictures, stories that were written on it. It was crazy. The floor was all written. They ran out. They had these giant whiteboards that people were supposed to write on. They ran out of that, and people started writing all over the floors. It was insane.
Where was
See, Toby and I are busy.
Yeah.
We're busy people.
Stuff to do, things to see. No, I was in front of Staples Center, right by the statues of Shaq and Kareem and Magic. Yeah,
soon to be Kobe.
It was insane. I mean, it was, and I started reading some of the stories, and I had to walk away because I would start crying right there on the spot. So I went back a couple of times, but it was surreal to see. So yeah, I found a little spot on one of the whiteboards and left my mark there.
Cool.
But yeah, amazing. It was crazy because it was also insane to see a lot of people brought their kids to show who Kobe was, and they'd be like, look, this is all the people they inspired and stuff like that. They were introducing to the kids Kobe now, and I was this is insane. Yeah. But yeah, insane amount of shoes, balls, pictures, prints out, self-made signs, flowers galore. I mean, it was it was crazy. It was and so sad. Anyways, we were talking about Charlie's utter life in sports. My trip to the memorial took us sadly out of Arrow.
That's all right. Yeah. Red Sox apparently trading Mookie Betts to the Dodgers, so fucking a whole world's upside down.
I don't know what that means.
Fuck the Dodgers.
Is that a good player?
It is a good player going to a bad team.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, okay. Sucks for you.
They wouldn't pay him his $300 million.
Oh,
what are you gonna do?
Oh, only $300 million.
Yeah.
I don't know baseball.
That's not excessive.
I don't know baseball, but at least I'm not a dick about you are about every other sport there is than baseball.
Only football. Arrow. Let's talk about Arrow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Arrow here for a little bit. Okay. I will keep the spoilers light-ish. There's not that much.
This is what I was going to say. I actually don't care. I mean, Charlie,
spoil as much as you want.
Yeah, go for it, man. I'm going to watch it tonight and then fall asleep 5 times. So,
well, let's talk about
There's nothing really to spoil.
Yeah, let's talk about the second to last episode, which you did see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And Charlie, you saw?
Yeah. See, my homework last night is to watch both of them. It's just I didn't get through both of them.
So the second to last episode, and we talked about this briefly the other week, but more in depth now, do you
want to know why I couldn't get through both of them?
Why?
Well, I went to watch this movie called Parasite.
Oh yeah, Leanne watched it.
Crazy.
Yeah. She liked it.
That's a interesting movie.
Yeah, I heard it's good.
Yeah, I saw there was only one last showing at this theater, and it was like the evening showing because I guess starting today it's only at 1 p.m. I was like, I have to go see it, and then went home and I was like, I have to see Arrow.
I'm surprised it's not more because it's up for an Oscar. It's up for Best Picture. So
is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a crazy movie.
So yes, it will get more showings.
Yeah, probably. So I probably should have skipped it.
But the we were talking a few weeks, I think, right before the Christmas break about the second to last episode, and I was like, why would this Crisis episode be like a weird stealth pilot? No. It was the second to last episode of Arrow was like the backdoor pilot to Green Arrow and the Black Canaries.
Yes.
Now there is some weird continuity here.
Yeah.
So the Crisis kind of shot one of the Black Canaries into the future.
Even that.
No.
So
yeah, she said she just woke up.
She said that. Yeah. But then they're just so they have this episode where the two Black Canaries are in the future. Dinah had been there for however long, we don't know, right? Living kind of undercover, living like a new life. She couldn't get back. She was stuck there in 2040, which is where Mia Queen is from. Oliver Queen's kid, who's come back in time. His daughter who's come back in time.
Who's back to where
back
she's
in the future.
Supposed to be.
Well,
but she doesn't remember anything.
She's back to her post-crisis future.
Yeah,
where she's from. In Crisis,
I love how we're talking
back.
this language now with like normals, like
post-crisis
future.
But then Laurel, the Earth 2 Black Siren, now kind of
Canary.
merged as both versions of her. I mean, she's not, but the real Laurel,
the Black Canary,
Laurel doesn't come back because she's there, and Earth 2 was destroyed. So that's why it's still like the Earth 2 version, even though Earth 2 is now the Earth 2 is now the Stargirl Earth 2, which is going to have the JSA on it because that's not the Arrow Earth 2. So it's all very confusing. But yeah, they're just like, we're here. Let's go wake up Mia and
with tech that is supposedly from
Martian Manhunter. Well, he's got that in the other shows. He's using stuff to they're using stuff to wake people up in the other shows.
No, didn't they say it was Cisco that built it?
Yeah, Cisco built it. And I'm like, we haven't seen Cisco do anything yet.
What do you mean?
Because Flash isn't back yet. It's back tonight.
Yeah, but they've other people have.
But Cisco's been building shit for fucking 4 seasons.
No, I know.
So they totally fine that they say Cisco built it.
Of course.
Yeah.
But it's weird because at the end of that episode, his son is kidnapped, and they're still all in the future. But then in the finale, it's like, oh, this episode happened, and we're just not going to talk about any other thing, but we're going to acknowledge the episode. We're all in the finale, but
time out.
It's like they don't.
Time
it's like
time out. Let's use Black Siren Canary as the constant.
Yeah,
using gloss terms here.
Okay.
So now, did she remember the episode before?
Both of them do.
They both do.
Well, they were both woken up. So the only people that remember are
woken up, but they were woken up to begin. They were awoke.
No.
They were awoke, and the Black Canary.
Dinah doesn't remember.
Dinah does.
No, time out.
She absolutely does because she's like, I'm stuck here. I had to build this whole weird life.
No. We're talking in the final episode.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So in the final episode, does the Black Siren Canary know what happened in the future?
They all do. In the future?
Yeah. The episode previous to that. The backdoor pilot. No. Does she remember? We're going into some really good territory of time travel again here, baby.
Mia acknowledge the event of that episode. Mia talks about that episode.
Only Mia talks about that episode.
Right, but that's the confusing part.
Because Dinah doesn't know. Dinah hasn't gone into the future yet in this time. Because remember, she says it was after Oliver's funeral and I came here. So she doesn't know.
No, Dinah woke up in the future.
Yes.
After Crisis.
But they didn't pull her from the future to go to his funeral.
Right. That's what I said. It kind of doesn't
Wait, but Dinah is in that episode, though. I've seen the beginning multiple times.
Right,
baby.
they must have. They did that episode. They had an adventure. They've now come back for the funeral and then go back wherever the show is. So remember, Batwoman.
Maybe time travel, baby.
Maybe
we're at it again.
No, I said it doesn't make sense.
I don't remember for sure, but in the final episode of Crisis,
yes,
the one where they all wake up on this new world, Dinah is there.
Yeah, yeah. She talks to doesn't she talk to what's his face
when they confirm
to Quentin, right?
Well, no, I'm not in the part 5 of Crisis when Barry and everybody's showing up to see if Oliver's back. Dinah is there. Yeah. So she didn't wake up in the future after Crisis. It's something after Crisis happened that she ended up in the future.
I'm 98% sure she said, I woke up here.
She did.
She did. She woke up and she was in the future. After his funeral. It was after his funeral that it happened.
Okay.
Well, my point is, if Mia remembers that because it's part of her past, but they don't because it's part of their future, is that what's going on, or did that actually happen? They all three of them remember it.
Well, Crisis?
They all three
no, not Crisis. The backdoor pilot.
Yeah, they all remember. They all
in the final
it.
episode.
They all know it, but it's like it's two different versions of those characters.
Okay.
Like, I don't know that the other two discuss it, but Mia mentions what happened, but it's weird. It doesn't make a lot of sense. That's the problem.
Well, we get a whole show to explore that. We get answers as we watch the show.
Like with Batwoman, right?
Yeah.
And when Batwoman first shows up, she's Batwoman, and then in the Batwoman show, they're like, she had this fun little adventure, and then maybe some time passed, and then the Batwoman episode from Crisis or from the earlier crossover happens, and then we just kind of go forward with it. It's like kind of doesn't fit, but whatever.
Yes.
You know?
Dinah reveals that she woke up in the future the day after Oliver's funeral. That's the breakdown of that episode.
Okay, yeah.
So Dinah
but we don't see that. I guess
we don't see it.
I would have bet. I would bet $1,000. She says after Crisis.
No, she says after the funeral.
That's weird. Well, we don't see that, so we don't see any of that.
We don't see any of that. We see Mia come back for the funeral
because of Sarah.
Right. Sarah goes and gets her.
I watched that far,
but Sarah picks her up after the events that happen after William is taken.
Right.
So
there's a big gap.
Well, but then again, we have a whole show to watch.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to end up re-airing that episode as like the pilot, or if it's just going to stick as part of Arrow episode 7 or whatever. I have a
feeling we're going to see not the episode again, but I have a feeling we're going to get to see pieces of that storyline.
Yeah, and like the first episode, they kind of recap that or something. Because it doesn't fit, it has nothing to do with Arrow, right? That episode is completely divorced from any events in Arrow.
Yep. My guess is they're going to figure out a way to just play out the last few scenes in such a way to start the show.
I was like watching those, fearing that they're gonna make William the new Deathstroke in that version. I was like, don't do that. Do that.
They kind of have to have that actually be the pilot of the show, because so much of it is we're boyfriend, girlfriend, we're fiance. Oh, but you're actually a fucking villain, and now I know, and you don't know that I know, right? And so, if they're going to continue any of those plots, those, you have to have the background knowledge of these characters having been kind of, mind wiped, in a sense, and then they now have figured it out. So, Crisis did some weird stuff to the Arrowverse.
Because Connor's all a rehab.
Crisis should do some weird stuff to the Arrowverse.
Well, and it does. So in the finale, they do bring back basically every character from Arrow, short of his dad. That's really the only person that doesn't come back. So the vast majority of every character does make a brief return. Tommy's back.
Are you in Ragman?
Ragman's in it? Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, I was really happy to see Ragman in it. I love him.
Yeah. He was a highlight in the Arrow.
Wasn't.
No, they show him in the flashback. Is that in that episode?
Yeah, right? They show. Well, they show where
he saves
his mom in that one, but it's not. I don't think he took the mask off.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I think he did. I watched that multiple times.
Yeah, no, I think he's not in a costume. He's just in a suit or something like that, a business suit. Yeah. But I mean, all the main good guy characters all come back. For the
How about all the bad guys?
No,
damn, that would have been baller. That would have been baller.
So Nyssa and Talia are both in it.
Yeah.
Cool. I think who else? I mean, Tommy's back. His mom's back. They're not villains, but they're
Tommy Merlin.
Yeah. Because the whole thing was Arrow kind of saved everyone that died while he was on his mission. But if he brought his dad back, then
he wouldn't be on his mission.
He wouldn't be on his mission. He wouldn't have become Green Arrow, and none of this would have happened. So he's
he took the things that were the most painful that he could fix and brought them back.
Yeah. Just so,
and I love the interaction with Tommy and Earth 2 Laurel.
They're like, huh? He's like, I used to date you on my Earth, or is that what she said? She says something like.
He says, I married you on my Earth.
Yeah,
and she's like, she said something that was but they're both kind of interacting where they're attracted to each other.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, this is
yeah. But it was good. It was great to see all those characters together and kind of moving, and the stuff was sort of in quote unquote heaven or whatever the hell he is with it's him and Felicity, and they kind of have their shot and they say goodbye, right? So we'll get to kind of the big part of this.
I like the throwback to her at the beginning with the red pen.
Yeah, it's like they reshot that or reshow that their first meeting and stuff. So yeah,
the first time he saw her, not the first meeting.
Yeah. No, it was a really good episode. It was a good finale, and we'll talk about Arrow kind of more broad terms here in a second. But obviously, the big thing is Diggle, and
I've told you about that.
Yeah, oh yeah. So this had been teased for such a long time, and even in the crossover, one of the last big events, they teased.
On my Earth, you're called Jon Stewart, or no?
He said, "Where's your ring?"
Yeah.
It was Flash, right? It was the Wesley Shipp Flash, right?
Yeah, Wesley Shipp's the one.
Yeah. So we do get Diggle and his family, and I do like that with Diggle too. They bring back both of his kids.
Yes.
Yeah. So he has
his daughter and his son.
He had a son. And then it became, or he had a daughter.
He had a daughter,
and then Flash rewrote
it, and we got Connor.
Yeah, that's right. And
the thing is they knew about the rewrite. They were told about the rewrite,
right.
and they were
pissed.
They were
Barry,
pissed,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But now they have both.
Barry Allen, because he changed the timeline. Ripple effect changed his daughter to a son. Yep. But then. Arrow, he's able to fix it, so he has both. So that was pretty fun. But so
which is weird that we didn't get the daughter in the Canary stealth pilot. We got Connor.
Oh yeah,
who's kind of an addict.
Oh yeah,
but we didn't get the sister.
Maybe they haven't cast her yet, or they'll do something with her in the future. Or they didn't want to spoil it that the kid's back. But so Diggle's outside. They're doing this great this kind of great voiceover, talking about all the different, sort of wrapping up the show. And he looks up to the sky and he sees this light coming down, and of course, a meteor crashes and
knocks him on his ass.
Yeah. And there's a box. He opens up the box and it's glowing green. All right. So obviously, hinting here, that he gets his Green Lantern ring. So, John Diggle is a character made up for Arrow. They brought him into the Arrow comics. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people are like, but if Diggle was his
real name is Jon Stewart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there've been a lot of push for Diggle to be kind of like an undercover name or something. Sure, Jon Stewart Diggle. Right, exactly. Whatever. However you want to make it work. He doesn't even have to be. He could just become a Green Lantern. I don't care. So, I mean, do you think they're going to follow up on this? Do you think he's going to show up in Flash? Do you think he's going to show up on the DC or the HBO Max?
I would assume the HBO Max.
That would
because
be cool.
We know that's supposed to follow 2 Green Lanterns, so having him be the rookie and bring in somebody.
But I don't think the HBO Max is going to be set in the CW universe.
But is it?
But it's still the same showrunner.
Yeah,
they've talked that they would love to bring the Arrowverse shows over to that when their current Netflix contracts expire.
Yeah. Again, I have no problem with this. I mean, if they want to do, John Diggle Stewart,
they could do a Doctor Who Torchwood thing where the CW watchers or the Arrow watchers know it's the same John Diggle,
right?
While the people that watch the HBO Max,
it's just a new character.
It's just a new character to them.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So, they could do that. And easy enough if they want to throw in some special guests, from time to time and draw people over. But yeah, I mean, he could just be a regular on Flash next season. I don't care. That'd be great.
Or move him over to Legends.
Yeah, that'd be perfect, right? Especially if he wants to do more stuff. So, Legends is the perfect spot.
I'm pretty sure he wants a break, and then we'll see him.
Yeah,
in a one season break, and we'll probably see him somewhere.
Also,
you just a little break from the character too.
Sure. Just something. Well, you playing that character for 8 years. It's a long time. So I'm sure. But I'm blanking on his name.
David Ramsey.
Ramsey, that's it. Yeah, David Ramsey. I think he seems to love the role, and
I would not be surprised if he shows up
on
Legends. Yeah.
Of all the characters, him and Felicity. I mean, Felicity is a named character from the comic, but she's not. All right, Felicity had her ups and downs through the series. I thought they kind of tied it off well at the end. But Diggle is like, he's a completely original character for this show, but he is great, and they did a great job of having him on the team through the years. One or two of the plots with him maybe wasn't the best, but overall,
be strong enough a character to be a X-23 or a Harley Quinn.
Bring him into the comics full time.
Yeah.
Well, they did.
But do you think?
But it didn't
remembered?
Stick around,
right? But do you think he'll get remembered that way? Harley is a cartoon, original, right? X-23 is a cartoon original, not a comic original.
So
Batman and Beyond, same thing.
Yeah.
The way I kind of look at, especially with that stuff, is traditionally speaking, the stuff that does carry forward into the comics doesn't carry forward till they've outlived the show that originated them to a degree.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like Harley came into the
they tried with Chloe
immediately.
They tried with Chloe from Smallville.
Didn't they also try with the other friend, the African American friend? What's his name on Smallville?
Well, that was already
that's Jimmy. That's Jimmy.
Yeah.
That's
Jimmy.
No, or I'm not fucking Jimmy.
No, in Smallville.
Yeah, that was
Peter.
No, God, what's his name?
But that was already one of his friends.
Yeah, Pete Ross. He's a real character.
That was okay.
Yeah. Nah, not Jimmy Pete. Yeah, he's a real character. But Arrow, sad to see it go.
Yeah.
But we have plenty of other CW shows.
Look, 8 years is a phenomenal run, and it left a lasting legacy.
Well,
and I have a feeling this is not the last we've seen of Amell as either Spectre or Green Arrow or whatever he wants to do.
8 years.
That's okay. He's already got another show lined up and everything. So.
The wrestling show.
Yeah.
8 years is pretty incredible. 8 years with 4 spin-offs, multiple cartoons, voicing stuff in animated series.
Yeah.
Bringing stuff from other
networks into your show. Multiple. Like not just one or not. This isn't like a Buffy and Angel thing. We're talking stuff from the streaming service.
Yeah.
We're talking stuff from Fox, or like NBC with Constantine. Yeah, that is unheard of.
Yep.
So clearly, the showrunners and all, Greg Berlanti and all those people. I mean, but
you almost had a regular convention for a while there, heroes and villains that he coached.
Is that just finally flamed out?
Different owners, different stuff. It's not the same thing anymore. He's washed his hands off of that.
Yeah, but that was a good 3-4 years.
But it was insane, really good 3-4 years that he was co-heading that.
Some of the best conventions I've ever been to.
Yeah, it was a fun run while it lasted. And it's too bad that they couldn't keep it together, but I think
overall, I think Arrow had probably way more good to great seasons than bad seasons.
With all these shows, even the worst seasons, I still have fun with.
Yeah.
I can episode to episode, I can sometimes be like, come on, come on, Barry, just talk to someone, Barry. What are you doing? But yes, I still love the shows.
Hats off to Amell, because the minute he became the Green Arrow, he just owned it.
Yeah.
right? He was willing to do all the cons. He's willing to do any voice work. He was willing to be the definite Green Arrow for everything, right? He was willing to do the work. He's willing to do the appearances.
He petitioned to do some of that. Like it's not just that they came to him and he's like, no, can I do this?
Yeah. Yeah, so, hats off to the guy. And he's the one willing to share the limelight. He's the one that was pushing for the Constantine thing to come over, right? Yeah. So, hats off to the guy.
What was missing in Crisis?
So,
we didn't have Firestorm.
Yeah, no. Robbie Amell's been gone, and what's his, the other, the
Dr. Stein?
Yeah, Stein and the other guy, I'm like awful at the actors' names. None of them have come back. So, which is unfortunate. I would have loved to see them come back, but what are you going to do?
Sorry, you were talking about Amell. Stephen Amell's like his brother. Wait, where was Firestorm?
Yeah.
Cousin. Not
cousin.
Yeah. Okay. But, I mean, he's still doing all sorts of stuff with his cousin on the side.
Code 8 is that the movie they did?
Yeah.
So, Arrow. Ton of fun. All the shows that
and it's funny so because I remember, like, this is kind of crazy how fast 8 years went by. Because I remember us discussing
the first episode
where we were like, oh, maybe they should have used Justin Hartley to continue the Smallville universe, and like whether it was a good idea to reboot the entire like TV universe and stuff like that. Yeah. And I remember watching the first episode. This was a good decision that they went this way. Because they definitely went slightly darker, a little more serious with it. And, my favorite memories of Arrow was the hints of the Suicide Squad for them to actually pull it off, where they did do the Suicide Squad, which actually I think personally led to the Suicide Squad movie, which in turn also killed their Suicide Squad, right? But I thought that was some of the stronger stuff. I also loved that Deadshot's episode where he came back, the daughter stuff, where you started feeling for a cold-hearted like villain character. I thought that was really good. I thought the Zoe storyline with Wild Dog was really good.
Wild Dog is one of those characters that I'm really happy stuck around because when they kind of introduced like kind of the new group of people, I was like,
Wild Dog,
fucking Wild Dog, really? He's great. They did a really good job with through the time, and I really like the newer Black Canary. That she did a good job too. Yeah.
I mean, look, overall, I kind of wish Sarah was the definite Black Canary on the show.
Oh, she's so good.
So, especially since they went that way, they kind of split the two into two characters. Now it's three characters. Sarah was kind of the definite Black Canary.
But in Legends, that's not Black Canary.
No, it's not.
So I'm
that's why they even went White Canary with her.
Right.
But I'm saying on Arrow, I feel like she's the definite Black Canary.
Yeah, until she sort of switched over. Yeah. I'm okay with that character being different. Yeah. The Black Siren, Earth 2, blah, blah, blah.
That was a little jumbled.
I would like to know what really was going on there. If she was like, I'm off the show. Oh, wait. Can I come back? Because clearly, this is not how this was.
That was a weird thing.
Yeah.
They did do a smooth transition to pull her over from that Earth.
Oh, they could have just brought her back. I mean, there's always another Lazarus pit. So I figured there's some wonky stuff going on, but whatever.
It seemed like there was some stuff going on behind the scenes. But who knows?
I don't disagree that there could have been some stuff going on behind the scenes. But that being said, I do kind of feel like they decided somebody had to die, and it ended up being her in that season. Like, I don't think there was ever a version. Like, I don't think it was one of those cases where she said, I want to lead the show, and they went, No, I think they went, okay, we're going to start out this season with a major death, not reveal who it is, and then figure out how we're going to do that story-wise.
Yeah. That death episode was actually a really good episode. That was really nice. Yeah.
We got a good bronze tiger out of this show.
Yeah.
I mean, Charlie, come on. Is this your race?
No, he's terrible.
No.
He's terrible. No.
Animated series. Race, you're still my race.
A lot of is the definite version is still the animated series.
They got a great actor to voice him in the animated series who would make a fantastic race. So
they just need to get on it.
David Warner.
Yep. Arrow, we have at least one more year of all the shows because they already announced pickups for every single thing going forward. So, and Stargirl starts very soon.
And they announced that Solomon Grundy's going to be on that.
On Stargirl? Oh, nice.
Born on a Monday?
Well, I mean, Grundy's one of the classic JSA villains, so I'm totally fine with that. He's one of the oldest characters in the DC universe.
Yeah, they Born on a Monday?
He is, yeah. We're going to go over, and obviously, if you guys have any thoughts about Arrow, we actually got a couple questions about this stuff on Patreon and Twitter, so we're going to hit up some of those questions here. But yeah, if you guys have any thoughts about Arrow, you want to drop it in our Facebook group or message us next week. We'll make sure to get those on the air and can read it. And yeah, there's still a lot more CW shows on the air, so one going away isn't much because there's like 6 replacing it. I'm not too worried.
How many sneaky pilots did this show have?
Just the one, really.
No?
What else?
The Flash?
I mean, that wasn't necessarily...
it wasn't, but you technically can consider it a...
For what?
Well,
the Flash was
they had the two-parter of
Introducing
Barry and stuff that was the lead-in to the show, but it wasn't trying to create a pilot for the show. They were trying to...
Yeah, was he on Arrow before the first episode of Flash aired?
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember.
Season honestly, 2, they did a two-parter.
To be honest with you, that's where the backdoor pilot
he was not Flash
from,
yet.
I feel like.
He wasn't metahuman or anything. He was just there helping on the investigation.
Yeah, he was dating Felicity.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So technically, you could get his signature on the Arrow poster and omit him on the Flash one.
Good. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's weird. All right, we got some questions. This is a weird question. I'm going to assume he either miswrote my name or maybe he actually fell asleep during most of our podcasts. This is from Edgar. He says, I've been rewatching the DCEU movies and I noticed that I must have pulled a Toby and fell asleep through some of these...
Did you say pulled a Ryan?
No, he says Toby.
Uh-huh.
And fell asleep through some of these movies, or my tastes have really changed. Man of Steel was very entertaining, and BVS Ultimate Extended Edition fixed most of what I remembered hating. My question is, why does Ryan hate these movies so much?
You hate these movies? Since when? This is a new one?
He must mean Bryce or Brock.
I don't hate,
He must mean Bryce.
So wait, he's saying he pulled a Toby and fell asleep.
He pulled a Toby and fell asleep and has rewatched these movies and likes them now.
Oh, yes, but he never seen them before because he was sleeping.
Right.
Okay.
Or he...
So how does he know that he didn't like them?
Maybe he fell asleep.
Okay.
But his question is, why do I hate these movies? I do not. I love Man of Steel and BVS.
Let's be honest, Ryan. Come on, give us the truth. Give us the truth.
He's just realizing you must not want to watch them again because you won't record these commentaries.
I know, there's commentary. You promised.
I promised nothing.
You did. Behind the scenes, I'm announcing the fucking world right now. Behind the scenes, you promised when Bryce leaves the show, you would do the fucking commentary. And you didn't do it. You didn't do it.
But no,
because Bryce is ready.
I love these.
You're the one that's putting it off.
Now, do I want every movie to be Zack Snyder and in this style? No, of course not. I love Shazam. I love Wonder Woman. I love all the DC movies.
Did you see the Super Bowl as a bounty commercial?
The Wonder Woman?
Yeah, that was great.
That was pretty funny. So if you're talking about Bryce, part of it's just because it's a DC thing, and Bryce hates DC. So if you're talking about me, I don't know. I don't hate these movies.
I actually still have to see the extended version. I still haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, it's...
No.
It fixes...
I remember being in the theater and being pissed off and turning to Charlie going, I'm not sure I like this.
Well, if you go back to that...
I did. I think I talked to Charlie in the movie theater.
I'm just having too much fun going, and enter the reverse of the Daredevil.
Daredevil's the best.
If you go back to the episode prior to the BVS episode, you'll have me and Toby kind of like... So we saw the sneak preview. I don't know. But then we watched it again, and then the director's cut is like,
the director's cut
much
does
better.
Fix
some
of the issues with
the
BVS.
Director's cut fixes Daredevil. No kidding. I haven't watched the director's cut of BVS yet.
Chris Lockhart wants to know if you saw the Disney Plus trailer with the Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Loki. Yes, we
of
sure
course.
did, Chris. We talked about that. Thank you for your question. I don't mean to blow over. What's
the question?
I want to read it and acknowledge that we saw. This is our Patreon people, so I do want to read all their questions.
Okay.
But yes,
they're the only important ones I see.
He's acknowledging the fact that we already talked about it for our Patreon.
Rewind
who is listening to this?
Rewind 45 minutes ago. We answered your question.
We're only at 45 minutes.
We're all very excited for that.
Don't worry, I'm on this podcast. We can stretch.
Verum Libertas. Well, it also asks about the order, the confusion of the order of events and arrows, episode 9 and 10.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
We'll talk about it next week because I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said, so, what is with the reporting of pre-sales for Birds of Prey, ticket pre-sales? Ticket sites are saying it's outpacing Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman in the same amount of days and weeks in the lead up to the release. Other sites are calling BS. Am I mistakenly seeing this reporting as biased by certain sites? Well, it's a DC movie, so of course there's going to be some bias by some sites.
By a certain Ryan Higgins.
I haven't seen any of this, so if people are...
I've seen both. I've seen both headlines, but it's the internet. I actually don't care because it's not by websites I know. So I'm like, well, you could say what the fuck you want. I'm not clicking on it.
Whenever I see like...
No, there's literally both.
Yeah,
it's one says it's not selling at all. The other one's it's selling like bonkers.
Well,
I'll tell you this though. I bought my ticket I think today.
Yeah.
For Friday, and I got middle seats.
Yeah.
And it's like 4 other seats are sold, and that's a 6:15 showing.
Wow.
That's a little kind of bad.
Yeah.
Which theater?
Saratoga.
I think you're going with me then.
At 6:15 on Friday.
I'm double checking the time.
On Dolby.
Yes.
Yeah! Are we sitting next to each other, maybe?
That'd be really funny.
Well, I love how you're just like, and there were only 4 tickets, so I'm like, Nadia and I bought tickets for the...
Was it also like 3 tickets at the time?
Chris,
now we're pulling it both up.
Chris also asks, the reviews are very positive for Birds of Prey. You guys going to see it? Yeah, of course we're going to go see it.
I got my tickets the day after they dropped.
Yeah,
last week, it dropped like.
Well, it's
Friday.
A movie that's Harley Quinn in it.
I picked them up right away.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
What seats do you have?
I think.
Oh dear God! If they're sitting next to each other,
that'd be hilarious. I'm gonna go buy a lot afterwards. Auditorium 9.
Yes.
Seats F?
G12.
Oh, I'm F10 and 9.
You're right next to each other.
You're right.
The aisles are right.
The
next to each
F
other.
seats and the G seats are off center, so we might actually be.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
So looking at the 6 p.m. Thursday show that I'm looking at, there's maybe like 20 seats that have been taken. So
that's not good.
That's not good. However, reviews drop tomorrow. So
a lot of
that might not be good either.
If the reviews are good, then
I don't know.
No, reviews seem to be positive about it.
I don't know.
Well, early ticket prices.
I want it to be good. To be fair, I want it to be good.
Early estimates that we've seen has said it's about a $50 million opening weekend U.S. and about $75 international, which puts it roughly at Shazam numbers.
That's good.
The movie cost under $100 million. It's like $98 million or $97 million or something like that, right? Shazam, I think, took in $400, $450, something like that, I think, by the end of its run. If this does $5, golden, right? I mean, sure, movies. I'd love movies to be billion-dollar movies, but
I mean, we talked about this. Not everyone needs to be the $100 million budget ones.
Yeah,
not everyone needs to hit those crazy numbers. It'd be nice to have some of these smaller ones in between.
Kevin Sharp talked about this when we were talking about the Joker, and he said, if Joker hits $500 million, they're going to be popping champagne corks. Popping champagne at Warner Brothers, right? So, and it did $1 billion, clearly, right?
More than the bargain for.
It's just strong word of mouth and good, even bad word of mouth. It still hits $500 million, and it's still an extremely profitable movie. So, yeah, no, I'm very excited for Birds of Prey. I'm really looking forward to it. We'll talk more about it next week. From Zach, he goes, when you guys are getting caught up on your comics, do you read one series at a time, or do you jump around?
Jump around. Jump around.
So, much like I have my comics sorted and I read different ways at different specific, what my new books, current comics, I put in just week to week. I just dump in the back of the box. I read them in the order and they're in the box. I do not play favorites.
I do play fucking favorites.
I do not.
Oh, I absolutely do. I'll get the ones I'm most excited for, and the ones I'm not so excited for may never get read and probably never get read.
The stuff I'm catching up on, I'm that far behind, I read as a series.
Yeah, of course.
So I have one issue of Earth 2 Society left to read.
What?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just plow through?
I have one issue left.
Yeah, when you were reading, why didn't you just plow through that final
Because
issue?
he kept falling asleep.
No,
and had to restart the first page.
Yeah, I read.
He's like, I know those first 3 pages.
I read those. I read my
hand.
catch-up books in a very specific way. I have one issue left. So, and then I will move on to...
Wait, how do you have one issue left? If you only have one, why don't you just fucking read it?
I'm going to. The next time I read my catch-up books. Oh. That's my last issue.
But you read your catch-up books in alphabetical order.
No. My catch-up books, I jump around. Because right now it would be a lot of Batman in a row to read. So I'm sort of like, Batman, something. So I'll probably... what do I want to do next?
This is a weird show without subtitles or sound.
Space Ghost, coast to coast. By the way, I might do detective. I may finish off the New 52 detective run because I didn't finish that off. I ran through a lot of Superman and Batman stuff before because I had to get caught up for the Return of Superman when they did the action Superman crossover with the death of the New 52 Superman, kind of like that lead up. So I'd run through all the Superman stuff. So I still have some other random books to read.
No, for me, I'll alphabetize the weeks as I get books. I alphabetize them into whatever I haven't read.
Yeah,
and then I randomly pick out like the stuff I really want to read. Like, Strange Adventures is going to be up there. Like, boom, I got to read it. Like, Doomsday Clock, stuff like that. Like, I instantaneously read that stuff normally. Some of it I reread just because I really enjoyed it and I want to give myself a good second go through.
Yeah.
But that gets filed in another spot. But yeah, I'll hop around. I just grab, if I'm behind in a series, I'll normally grab all of the issues I'm behind in and read those at one time. So, but yeah, normally it's like I'll hop around to like, oh, I'm going to get this out of the way. I'm going to get this out of the way. And
well, that is what my old stuff is. I put a kind of line in the sand, and I said, with the Rebirth, I will start fresh. Anything I'm not current on, those will be my catch-up books. So anything that was like super important, I went through and read that continued straight through.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm just sort of like like the JLA run by Brian Hitch is its own little disconnected miniseries. It has nothing to do with anything. Yeah, the Harley Quinn New 52 series is completely disconnected from everything else. So all these books, I'm just like, I'll just read them as I come across. And finally, from Craig P. Anderson,
Indicator.
Who are the current writers working on the second tier books at Marvel and DC think are ready to break into the big time? I'm a Robert Venditti fan. He's getting Justice League after solid work on Freedom Fighters and Green Lantern. Who's next? A little shaky on his early work, but Venditti's been killing it. Hawkman's been good. Freedom Fighters ended really strong. I really hope they do a second volume. So I'm all up for Venditti getting the bump up. Who else? Who else do I want to see?
Who's on that ForceWorks book?
Who's doing that?
I don't know. I just saw the cover. I'm like, I'm in.
Oh, is that Matthew Rosenberg doing Force work?
No, I'm asking you.
He's been putting out...
You're the key master.
I think it's Rosenberg. He's been putting out some okay stuff. Well, it's weird because he kind of had a run of Uncanny. He did that run of Uncanny and then it's like, I'm going to do other stuff now. Yeah, who's kind of...
ForceWorks may actually be my real Avengers West Coast book.
It looks like it. It's those characters.
Yeah.
And your buddy Phillips doing the variant cover.
Yeah,
Philip
I'm super excited.
That's a nice variant cover.
Yeah.
Too bad about the book.
Why is it too bad about the book?
It's a Iron Man 2020 tie-in miniseries.
So?
Just like the New Warriors is a tie-in miniseries to the Shitty Champions event. Like they're taking the books we like and using them as garbage miniseries for.
They just want
events.
our monies for nostalgia. Fuck nostalgia. Damn it! Why I keep giving you money? I give you monies all the time. By the way, those Thundercats statues look amazing. They're the same size as those Dungeons and Dragons. I may have to have them, but goddamn, they're expensive, Charlie.
I know.
So expensive, but they would look so nice right next to my Dungeons and Dragons. And then they would do a He-Man one, and then do a Turtles one, and then a Star Sheriffs one.
Joshua Williamson has definitely bumped up. He's done some big books. Obviously, Flash is continuing success, and Batman Superman's going to be a big book. But I could see him getting the tap to do like one of the next major events if Snyder or Johns doesn't want to do something.
Tywin.
Well, James Tynion moved over to Batman. That's following Tom King. That's as big of a boost as you can get. So yeah, I hope he can maintain that. Maintain those big books.
Jodie Houser.
Yeah,
she's been doing some good stuff.
Yep, she's good. She's been bouncing back and forth between Marvel and DC. I don't know. Over at Marvel, I'm not sure. I mean, like you said with Rosenberg, I could see.
Wait, was Rosenberg the dude that did the original Young Avengers?
No, it's Alan Heinberg.
Heinberg.
He's like TV.
Yeah,
guy,
he was a TV guy before that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I could see. I mean, they'll give their next big event to Donny Cates. Like, I don't know if you count Donny Cates as a B guy.
Not anymore. I mean, they've already.
They kind of
boosted his profile. They
yanked him up
very quickly.
Yeah. Well, at least he's a guy that's excited about all the properties. He seems to have fun at least, so that's good.
Yeah. And I'm a big Chip Zdarsky fan. I would love him on Amazing Spider-Man. I would love him on
I can see him on
FF ongoing. I would love him to do a big event. I don't know if he wants to.
I could see that.
But yeah. I mean, Zdarsky's he's popular enough, but his books are never like the best sellers. He's on good books. He's not on bad books, but he hasn't been on that book that's like, cracked into the top. So
I can't wait till he is on a book that cracks into the top, and then they put out really nice collections of all the stuff he did prior.
Ooh, yeah. Just thinking about it, I want to do a good Silver Surfer book. I think he'd be a fun writer for a Silver Surfer title. Yeah.
Is that omnibus coming back in print yet?
The Slot?
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Damn. We've got a couple questions on Twitter. We're going to read through.
A nice big trade or omnibus of his Howard the Duck run.
We're going to read through some of these.
I interrupted you. You were going to say something. Oh, that's what you're going to say? Yeah.
Stefano asks, what's the most you've ever spent on a comic book? What was it?
Actually, it's not
Mine
that bad.
is the CGC 9.0 Flash 175. I bought it How
much was it?
Rose City Comic Con.
Does it say?
$295.
Not too bad.
Yeah. I haven't bought anything like crazy. I think the most...
Like comic? Yeah.
Yeah. I think I spent $500 on that Avengers #4. I think that was $5. And that was a good deal when I got it. It is an absolute fucking steal now. But at the time, I think I got because I was one of the other shop owners that I know. So, I got a very good deal.
I will say this. My biggest memory on the most expensive book I ever bought was Gambit First Appearance.
First Appearance.
Which was $40 at the time. Which for many years I thought, damn, I'm never going to buy anything that expensive anymore. Now Campbell does fucking like his own covers, and they're all like $40-$50 a pop.
You look at a soft cover from Marvel, and it's $39.99.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think the most expensive book I ever bought was probably through you, Ryan. The one that you made a possibility for me was The Moon Knight.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's probably my most expensive book today.
It was Werewolf by Night. First Midnight. It's a great issue.
Super happy about that one, actually.
And didn't Bryce get all the rest of that run except for that issue?
He's insanely mad at me, but sorry, Bryce. I love Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Hulk 180, I think you sold me for like one.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy, but it's a good book, then.
I mean, I gave $150 to Shay for my birthday present.
That's worth it, though, dude.
Oh, yeah. Killer deal.
Yeah. I was like, yes, please.
Yeah.
Charlie?
Omnibuses don't count.
I was about to say, that's the problem.
$150. Oh, no.
If you're not counting hardcovers, I don't spend massive amount of money.
$2.95.
Like
$4.99
$2.95
on the special.
Oh, $5. No, he spent $5.99 in that Doomsday Clock first issue. Yeah, there you go.
See, he does spend.
No, I mean there's probably times when I've spent like $10 on an issue or something, but that would be I need this one issue to complete my run of this or whatnot. Yeah. It's not I don't hunt down keys or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'll just buy the nice omnibuses with the keys in them.
I spent more than that to finish my Avengers run, including #1. However, when you look at the amount of money I spent versus the amount of issues I bought, I did not spend more than $500.
Yeah.
So that was the most I paid out for one single comic.
Yeah.
Question from Jeremy. Good question. He says, when will Overstreet put out an app for the price guide? If they refresh prices weekly,
no, hold on.
Instead of annually, they could charge for that app. That's a really good idea.
It's a good idea, but what the F is up with Overstreet facsimile editions? You didn't see these?
Mom.
They popped up in previews.
Like of the old Overstreets?
Of the old Overstreets.
That's cool. I mean, you want to read like the talks from the 70s or whatever, people talking about the industry. That's a cool idea. I mean, I don't know that I would buy one, but I'm sure there's some people that want to complete their collection. There's only like 1,000 of those first Overstreets that were printed, so not many people own those.
I just can't wait till they reprint the old prices and somebody shows up at a comic shop being like, I bought this Overstreet.
When does the Wizard facsimile start coming out?
No. Jesus. Someone comes with the comic and then you pull up the old one like, it's only worth $2.
but they bring up the facsimile of Hulk 181 and you bring out the facsimile Overstreet.
And then you bring out the facsimile.
Hey, dude, I'm keeping my old Wizards, man. I still dig them.
Well, whenever I think about starting to start my Nintendo Power collection, I think about like would I start a Wizard collection, and the answer is no. And then I stop buying then I stop thinking about the Nintendo Power.
I haven't bought other ones yet. I just kept the ones I have so far. Yeah.
Did you get the right thing last night from your eBay auction?
Oh no! I lost it. No,
you lost it.
I went for too much. I was buying that. Trying to buy that Dark Bowser. Dark Bowser Skylanders amiibo.
Isn't that the sexy Bowser shit?
Huh?
Isn't that the sexy Bowser stuff?
Huh? Bowsette?
Yeah. Isn't that the where the fucking half-naked chicks are dressing up as Bowser for some reason, for no reason?
No. Oh. Totally unrelated.
Oh, sorry. I thought that's what you were bidding on for some reason. I was like, let you do that?
I'm surprised there is...
I'm just sitting here going, so what you're telling me is there was a lot he was buying, and he was telling everybody, I'm just getting it for this one, and not counting
there are definitely custom Bowsette amiibo. We'll just say that. But no, when they release...
Bowsette is not real?
No.
Oh.
No, it's a fan-made thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But
that Bowsette thing showed up everywhere for a while.
Yeah, it was super popular. Yeah. What a surprise. It is not a Bowser. It is not a Bowser. It is not an amiibo. Technically, it is a Skylanders figure, but it's the only United States released amiibo related figure I do not know
of Dark Bowser,
and I just can't justify spending the actual money for it, so I'm just trying. It sits on my eBay watch list till I get one cheap.
But he's bought two of the wrong things.
I bought the wrong one.
Why?
Because there's a regular Bowser and a Dark Bowser.
Yeah,
and I ooh, cheap, buy. Fuck, that's the regular one, not the dark one. Oh. And it was like $5.
Well, do you need the regular one too?
No, I have the regular one. Oh. I bought it.
My son has.
Can you just repaint it into Dark Bowser?
No, I'm not that good.
Oh. Give it to Jim.
That's why you know Jim.
Yeah, give it to Jim.
Let's see.
Did you finish his question? Sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, what was his question?
Jeremy? Yeah, well, Overstreet put out an app for the price guide. No, but they should. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
From Dan.
It's called eBay.
From Dan. For both DC and Marvel, who is the most recent new leading character they debuted who is independent of another character? I.e. someone who had or could have had their own book at some point. It wasn't a villain sidekick, reboot, friend of an existing character. If the for DC, discount Naomi. Who was the character before that? He says, this isn't a trivia question to which I know the answer. I actually can't remember the last time either of the big two successfully stood up a new character, and I'm curious to know how long ago that was.
There's a reason why, because the minute you tie it to someone else, you automatically let some of their audience, therefore extra dollar signs.
Well, so Marvel has, in the last number of years, released. They've launched a bunch of new characters.
Remember, oh God,
Mosaic,
but
I think he was an Inhuman.
Yeah, he was.
If I'm not mistaken, they have like the ones that are out now, Arrow and Swordmaster.
Swordmaster is
no, not totally different character.
Oh, okay.
It's not related at all. I don't believe it's related.
Aren't they League of Legends thing?
No. I thought they were connected. I haven't read any of them, so I can't say for sure. I thought they were somehow connected to Agents of Atlas, but I don't really know. Agents of Atlas was, I believe, fairly independent independently created from everything, but it may have had an existing character.
See, for me, the part that makes it such a hard thing is they don't tend to launch books with no tie to something else. It's always tied to this big event just happened.
But even Naomi, right? I mean, there was plans from. She's part of Wonder Comics, which
Grail be considered that? But I mean,
Grail? No, she's
Darkseid's daughter.
Darkseid's daughter. Yeah, no, of course not. No,
Wolverine's dentist.
Again, Wolverines is the part there that you're missing. Yeah.
Don't.
I mean, so DC's done. Obviously, out of like any sort of traditional DC continuity, right? I mean, DC has all their Joe Hill books that have come out recently, right? Yeah. So those are not DC characters. DC has tons of characters that have been created that are outside of any of the existing characters. Mother Panic.
No, because that's Batman.
Well, it's not. I mean,
it's Batman.
She's in Gotham, but it's not. She has nothing to do with Batman.
But Batman's connected to her.
I mean, Batman's connected.
She looks up to Batman.
Batman's connected to everyone.
I know. That's why it's like,
yeah,
it's a hard thing to pick up.
To me, that's the thing. If somebody else's book to launch the character, then they tied to.
But they're not. No, I mean, Mother Panic came out in her own book, right? I mean,
she's connected to Gotham.
Yeah, she was connected. The book takes place in Gotham, but that's it. Shade the Changing Girl, while sharing a similar name to Shade the Changing Man, is, I mean, connected in the.
The coat.
They have the coat, but it's like it's so fucking disconnected.
Like you can't even do the new Prez.
No, I know, because I mean Prez is an existing thing. Yeah.
Shit.
Milkman. Milkman Man?
But that comes out of Doom Patrol.
Milkman Man? Yeah, no. I mean,
there's nothing.
But I would even say Naomi, right? Naomi is not, because her parents are Rainian, right? Is that they're so that's connected to Adam Strange, and depending how
picked up a White Lantern.
Yeah,
pick up a White Lantern.
No. But she's brought over, and now she's part of Young Justice. So like that was always the plan, because it's part of Wonder Comics. Yeah. There's no. I would say almost no character created past the 60s is unrelated. I mean, they just made shit up whole cloth back then, but they very quickly connected those characters. Nowadays, everything's... if they're in the DC universe or the Marvel universe, they're going to engage with these other characters at some point early. So,
like Voyager came straight out of Avengers.
Yeah, and that character was created in Avengers, but she was created by... Was it Grandmaster that created her? So, yeah, I mean, again, created by an existing character. So, yeah, I don't know. That's from Brandon. He says, the DC and Milestone lawsuit was settled months ago. Can we assume DC has no plans for new Milestone material? Do you think Milestone could even succeed today? Milestone was one of DC's older imprints, and I don't know all the specifics about the lawsuit. I don't know what the current status is. I would think DC has no plans. Milestone, I don't think was ever that successful. Their couple attempts to relaunch the characters did not.
Yeah, they didn't go.
They didn't. Nobody cared. Could it be? Yeah, of course. Right. I mean,
I think the material is. I think the material is old enough that if they wanted to release collections of it, there would be a market for it.
Oh, add those Static Shock trades, and they would absolutely sell. Right, but when they tried to do like that Static Shock comic, like nobody fucking bought that.
Yeah, the New 52 one?
Yeah, it was terrible. So yeah, of course it could succeed. They just have to get creative.
Two-shot Milestone.
Yeah, that was like the we're kind of almost back, and then but that was awful. So like they just need to get good creators on it, and I don't know that they have the people that want to work on it. Bones. Oh, maybe I actually have I unexpectedly already said the answer to this. He says, "What is your greatest comic book limited series," well, he says, or ongoing series, but I would think limited series, disappointment? When it was announced, you were so jacked to read it, and when it came out, it was such a letdown. Goddamn Milk Wars. You do me like that, Milk Wars.
Did you. It was
so excited for Milkman Man, and so excited for that book, and then you're like, oh, you promised me the coolest thing, and
then you just shat all over it.
These books are just the most nonsensical. And I I read all of the Young Animal books.
Yeah.
And I could not make heads or tails what were going on in those titles. It was so fucking disconnected. And then it
tried to connect itself.
It made more sense when the final issue of that first run of the Gerard Way Doom Patrol came out and explained a bunch of stuff, but it came out so late that the issue came out after Milk Wars, but it takes place and is the direct lead-in to Milk Wars. That's how badly they screwed up that. Yeah. So terrible.
I think the Gail Simone Plastic Man that was a huge disappointment.
Yes. Absolute trash. What was the other one? That Mr. Marvel, Jesus. That Martian Manhunter.
Oh, yeah, Martian
miniseries to Oost, Orlando, and Rilo Ricci. I forget how to pronounce his last name. I wanted to like that, but it was real bad.
Remember Avengers Standoff?
No.
There was... I'm trying to give more ones at least. Remember Fear Itself?
I just don't even. I was never excited for any of those. I was never jacked to read any of that.
Weren't you jacked to read Secret Wars and then you weren't?
No, not really. It's from Jack. He says, let's hear those Scott Snyder Justice League finale takes. Oh boy, what a fantastic run, accumulating in a tremendous letdown of a last issue. Okay.
I just finished reading this last night.
I didn't hate the last issue. It's not the end, right?
Yeah.
He said this issue goes directly into Metal 2.
Yes.
Again, we don't know the name of it. I'm just calling Metal 2. This goes directly into Metal 2, and Metal 2 picks up immediately where this issue leaves off. So that is the problem. We don't have the whole story yet. We are at the end of a chapter, but we do not have the rest of the story. So clearly he could have used another issue or 10 pages or something to kind of set up.
Well, I think what it is I think the hard part is we go from a really solid run on Snyder, his Justice League, to Justice League's continuing afterwards with
Vendetta. Yeah, but it's disconnected. It's like a prequel story.
It's this weird
which I'm excited for. It's Squad. I don't care if it's connected, but it does not pick up where. Yeah.
So I mean, again, I just read it. It was like I'm like, okay, like the next thing's coming out, but you got to wait for it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So we'll see where Metal 2 goes. Okay, we have two left.
It was not as bad as Action.
We got two left. From Steven, he says, how's everyone liking the X-Books? As a huge X-Men fan, I love Hawks and Pox, but I only kind of like X-Men and Marauders, maybe some X-Force. The promise of Hawks and Pox just doesn't seem to be realized, or am I alone in this? You are not.
Nope.
I'm through the issue 4s. And it is a struggle to pick up that stack of number 5s. At this point, every book, including X-Men.
So I will say this: X-Men 4 was probably the best X-Men book I've read in a long time.
It was fine,
start to finish of story wise in this Hickman thing.
Yeah,
it's been the best issue I've read.
Okay, even more than Hawks and Pox.
Hawks and Pox doesn't.
This is a separate
thing. It's a separate thing. It jumps around. It's establishing all this stuff, but like this. Issue 4.
Still no.
Come take a mic, Charlie. Can't hear you.
Why should I?
No. My problem is House and Powers. You could not follow that up on and still be in the Marvel universe and still acknowledge the events of that book. So it should not. The end of House of Powers should have been things going back to normal and a normal fucking X-Men book going forward.
To me, it just comes down to this: House and Powers. I enjoyed, but I enjoyed for the kind of novelty of getting to know this new status quo.
Yeah.
The problem is there's been no story follow-up to the new status quo.
No, it's these little one kind of issue things that try and explain something.
Like
you're not even reading any of the text pages that are put in there. Right?
No, I just full on skip the text pages because they're unreadable. They're unreadable garbage.
And like for me, the only two books that I'm still following is X-Men and X-Force. And then this last issue of X-Force dropped something in one of those all text pages that you're like,
I'm not going to read it.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains one problem I had, but
I know. I read the issue 5 of X-Men also, and there's neat little concepts and an interesting little setup, but I have no expectation that the next issue is going to do anything with that. Like, everything feels very disconnected and no clear story cohesion.
Here's this scene. Here's this. It's a lot. It's reminiscent of a lot of the Hickman's Fantastic Four when he first started, and he wrote, "Look at this awesome story I'm telling you," and you're like, "Okay, cool." And then here's your text page at the end that finishes the story I've told you, and then we're skipping to something else.
I remember that, but that was kind of a weird one-off thing.
No, he did it for like his handful of first issues that he did for the series.
I mean, I think X-Men 3 was one of the worst single issues I read last year.
Oh, God, yes.
Hands down.
That was a piece of trash.
It was awful. So I don't really... the promise, like you said, the promise of Hawks and Pox is not paying off.
No. And they're dumping more titles on people.
Oh, yeah. That was my issue when the Hawks and Pox hardcover came out, too, though, is like... Without any sense of where the story's going, I can't even be like, I want to jump on this hardcover because that's not even a complete story to buy. Like, right. I don't feel like I can.
It sets up something that was never going to get realized.
Well, it sets up something that is amazing, and we're going, okay, we're going to see this, but all the issues that we've been getting seem like we're already at issue 18 or 20 of these series, and they're kind of like finishing.
My problem is when Uncanny X-Men comes out, and it's the X-Men, and they're on Graymalkin Lane, and Graymalkin, that's how you pronounce it, and they're on the X-Mansion, and they're fighting Magneto and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. I at least have some interest because I'm like, this is something I recognize. I know this. When I'm reading Marauders, and I'm like, the fuck is going? Like, I don't give a shit about any of this. Like, this is like a weird ass like alternate reality. Like Age of Apocalypse, the smart thing about that was that it was limited. It was only a handful of months. It was like 6 months or whatever, and then you're done.
Even that, when you sort of take that, you had a clear event that triggered it. You had a clear sort of initial one issue to get an idea of like what the thing is, but like X-Men had a story through it, and like Gambit, and when you kind of put all that together, you see how it was building to the end of the event.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There is no end to this. This is until sales get bad enough. This is just the way the X-Men are now. Which, if you guys remember when we were talking about Hawks and Pox, I was like, "There's no fucking way they keep this up because there's no way this is in the regular Marvel universe, or they have changed the X-Men forever, and that's not going to go over well." So.
I still don't. I don't know how to pitch anybody what's happened in these first issues. Like, there's no.
And people were like, "Oh well, trade." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're going to be waiting for a fucking year."
I told myself I'm going to give the first 6, and I do not see myself reading any of them past that. I'll wait till they put the X-Men back to normal. Well, check out Wolverine. Because that could be its own thing completely. Not like Ben Percy. So I can get my X-Men fixed through Wolverine if that's the case. But, I do not expect these books will last another year. They have to wrap this up and get back to normal.
Channel Bryce or not Channel Bryce in this, I'm not giving up on the main X-Men book. I will keep reading it. But I'll keep reading it because I'm still waiting for that issue where Hickman's going to kick into high gear the story he actually has planned. I feel like I've followed enough Hickman to have enough faith that he has a plan that I just can't see at this point. But
Brock, you gonna be here for this last question?
It's really hard to push a book where it's more just like, hopefully this all pays off when he gets to that reveal.
Yeah. Like when Grant Morrison's writing Green Lantern, it's wacky and weird, and who knows what the hell's going on, but it's just the one book. So I can kind of be like, yeah, just stick with it. It's the one thing. You kind of can deal with it. It's Morrison being Morrison. We're going to figure out what's going on eventually. With this, I can't in good conscience tell people to read 14 different books hoping something comes out, you know? There just is this weird disconnect with the series and what the X-Men really are, and with the speed. It's like Hawks and Pox were going like a fucking freight train, and we hit a goddamn brick wall with these series. It's so weird. I was a little more forgiving after the first issue. I think Excalibur was the only one where I was like, well, this is just straight trash. But the rest I was like, okay, well, we'll see where this goes.
It's funny because when I was thinking about picking up the book, you sure didn't mention that until after I bought it.
Which one?
Excalibur.
Oh, I mean, you like the characters on it. That's fine.
But you could have told me that was hot trash before I bought it.
But, now I'm 24 issues in, and it's like, oh, Jesus, this is a fucking chore.
What? Terrific?
No. Hawks and Puck, all of them.
Oh.
Yeah. Final question for the night from Alex. Brocco, when did you be here for this? Final question for the night. Between his work towards the end of Batman and his current run on Action Comics, I think John Romita Jr. is horrific.
It's fucking horrid.
Is he getting worse?
Yes.
Was his style great for past decades? It just aged poorly, or was he always bad? Alex, he was not always bad.
No.
Go look back at 80s X-Men stuff. Even 90s Thor run, I think, is pretty good.
Looks good. His Spider-Man around that time is not bad.
I don't want to, we have ragged on poor John Romita Jr. a number of times on this podcast through the last couple of years. But the art in the last couple of issues of Action Comics
has been fucking shit.
Is bad on a level that
It makes Bendis' writing bad.
So there have been, I open up random Marvel books and I'm like, wow, the art in this is super generic and dull and boring, and they must pay this guy $10 a page because it's just very nothing, right? I don't feel that way with too many DC books. I feel like there's a little more focus on the art at DC. Marvel is just who can we get to do this issue this month? Not for every book, clearly, but a number of their books. JRJR is that weird choice where I'm like, I mean, clearly there are people there that are fans of his, but holy hell, they cannot be looking at this thinking this is a product that people are going to want to pick up.
The sales
the last couple of issues.
I'm not an art guy. I read the last couple of issues, and yes, I definitely kind of went, okay, this is JRJ, but I think I could still read them. They were fine.
I think Batman, the art was saved a little bit by it's pouring rain out and it's pitch black.
Yeah, and Tom King's distinct boom, boom, boom. With Bendis, it's let me read these word bubbles that there's.
Well, the word bubbles just cover up all the art.
For me, it's just okay. There's nothing about the art there that pops to me, and I'm not saying that it's good art, but I'm also. Like a lot of things, there are very few books that I pick up for the art in the first place. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying that the fact he's doing that book would make me less likely to pick it up than I'm trying to think of a good name of a strong artist who's not, because yes, Alex Ross on a book I will buy for the art. There's Bruce Timm and some others that I will absolutely just kind of jump on for the art. But that being said, I would never drop a book because JR was doing the art on it. That wouldn't be my...
I've dropped my Action covers of his covers for Action. I'm just nope, give me the variant. I'll pay $1 more.
That's fine, as I said. And I would totally not blame Toby for dropping it for the artist and that kind of stuff. I wonder in terms of sales, in terms of everything, I've always JRJR was a big get moving over to DC. Mm-hmm. They treated it like a big get. They put him on a book with Johns.
That story just went nowhere.
But
it was hard to look at.
I'm assuming they wouldn't keep putting him on these super high-profile books if there wasn't some level of return putting him on these super high-profile books.
Super fast. That would be the only... He's super fast and cheap. That would be the only reason.
Well,
fast, cheap, and good.
The thing is they're putting him on Batman, which Batman's already going to sell regardless. So, where Action is selling decently now... They're thinking it's going to sell regardless. They're not throwing him on a title that's, mid-range or whatever. They're giving him bigger books, so it's already going to carry something. But I think that it's really for me, I'm sitting there going, I got to slog through this because it's gotten that bad. I think there was somebody in you retweeted Jimmy Palmiotti a few days ago or yesterday. Like
the worst thread. Not Jimmy.
Not Jimmy.
Not him. I'm not saying bad stuff about him. I'm saying bad stuff about every single reply in that thread.
But there was one reply in that thread that featured the artwork from one of the recent Batgirl issues.
Yeah.
Which had so she was in a bathroom.
Yeah.
And the bathtub covered the door. Like, the layout of the bathroom was completely wrong. Like, they had drawn a door, but then drawn a bathtub in front of it. Like, they had didn't know any spatial recognition. And I'm like, oh, if that got into a comic, oof.
Yeah, it's really bad.
But his Leviathan mask, really, it's bad.
As I said, it's not something where I'm trying to defend his art. I'm just saying I don't really give a crap.
Yeah. He tends to not be on stuff very long, but yeah, I've never wanted to tell a company, hey, you should consider not using this artist, short of Ethan Van Sciver. But
do you think the historical stuff plays into it?
I mean, he's a name, right? Yeah, sure, and he's got fans.
What's the lowest selling Black Label title?
I don't know.
It wasn't Superman Year One with his art?
No, I doubt it. No, and again, that's Frank Miller's got a name that I don't care about, but obviously a lot of people still do, right? People love Frank Miller. Some people still love Frank Miller. Sorry, something.
I still can't bring myself to actually sit down and try and read that book.
No, I didn't.
Which one?
I didn't
the Superman Black Label, the Year One.
Wow. No, never. I don't need everything. I can occasionally pass on something. And that was a question, right? Frank Miller and JR take over Action Comics ongoing.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah,
put them on specialty projects and you're fine, but yeah.
But again, for me, that's if you're just saying you're putting JR on Action, doesn't affect me too much at all. No. You say you're putting a bad writer on it, you could have one of the best artists, not necessarily the best artist, but one of the best artists, and I would stop buying the book just
All-Star
for the
Batman
writing.
and Robin, Toby.
Nah. I don't know what you guys hate on that book, because that book was awesome.
Yeah, just don't read it.
No, it was fine.
Just look at the art.
No, that was an awesome book. I still I'm standing by that book.
Toby's I have these 20 copies at home. I need this book to research.
Yep, he does.
I do, but I really genuinely liked the book.
Well, no,
I did.
I know.
It had a dope Black Canary run in there. I had weird Hal beatdown stuff in there. It had some weird rat eating stuff going on, but whatever. I love that book.
I love the fact that he remembers all the same stuff I do, but he's yeah, whatever. And
I love that. That's the one Batman made Robin eat a rat. That was great.
Yeah.
All right.
No, but they have JR on Action for...
He's doing the arc, I think.
He's doing some arc on it, and I'm oof.
That's why I just read the word balloons.
Actually, if I was rich beyond my means, I probably would get a All-Star Batman page from Jim Lee.
Well, sure.
The Black Canary stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I would too, right? Yeah. I just wouldn't want the words on it.
Can you please tell me what the fuck we're watching on the TV?
One of the Godzillas.
Is it actually Godzilla? Because it's weird.
I think it's one of the Godzillas.
It looks like. Yeah.
This is great radio.
Yeah. We are going to wrap up.
Any more questions?
It's great radio because we've established that we watch things during the podcast.
We are going to wrap up this podcast and go watch
My time is here.
Godzilla
Let's
movies.
do this, Ryan. Let's do this, Ryan.
I mean, I can just shut your mic off.
No, you can't, because I got this mic, too.
That mic's not on.
Damn it.
It's already not on.
Oh.
We have so many great Patreon backers to thank, include our high tier Patreon stuff have not gone through, or sorry, our new Patreon stuff has not gone through yet. So we'll do the big talk next week. That goes through sometimes just not right on the first, so a couple days. We'll get that done for next week.
Do you think next week is BOP exclusive? It's a DC movie. It's not Marvel, so we're doing an exclusive podcast on it, right?
Depends what we got to say about
Because if it's Marvel, you do it 30 minutes max.
When have I ever done a 30-minute MCU movie? Okay. I think Venom was half an episode because only me and I don't remember who else. Did Kevin see it?
Scott.
Scott had seen it. Me and Scott saw it.
I still haven't seen it.
But yeah, no.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it. Somebody snagged the Blu-ray from
Yeah.
Me during
That's good stuff. Thank you to Joe Duff on Patreon, as well as Andrew Nelson Mendez, Recovery of an Anime Junkie podcast. You can go listen to his podcast on all the places you download podcasts. Oh, just started to download the DC Daily, not Daily, podcast.
You mean the podcast, not the show?
The DC Daily podcast, yes.
Not the show.
Not DC Daily podcast, but the DC Daily podcast.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Not the DC Daily podcast, the DC Daily podcast.
Hey, Ryan, there's sure a lot of white folks in this Godzilla movie. That's why I'm so confused that this is a Godzilla movie. Like, now it's all Japanese, but a minute ago it was all white folks. I don't understand this.
So DC Daily, which is the daily video on DC Universe, they now have a podcast that goes up, I think, twice a week. So it's the
twice a week.
So it's not a DC Daily podcast. It's just
DC Biweekly.
No.
Like I said,
twice weekly.
Like I said, it's not the DC Daily podcast. It's the DC Daily podcast.
But it's not a podcast.
There's a DC Daily podcast.
Can you listen?
Yeah, I know what Ryan is saying.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a daily DC podcast.
You motherfucking son of a bitch. So, go listen to the DC Daily
podcast.
It's out twice a week.
It's not daily then.
Yes, it is not. Craig Anderson, CraigPanderson.com.
Why?
Wait, why? Why do we have to listen to it? Yeah, you fucking built this shit up.
Because it's a DC podcast. It's an official DC podcast. Did you interview creators?
Hold the fuck on. Did you
creators,
just pimp
actors?
Did you just pimp a podcast? Has nothing to do with our ring of podcasts.
I was just remembering that I started to subscribe.
So it's
to
a recommendation.
Did you start
you
listening
like
to
it?
Yes.
You should say maybe some stuff about that.
It just came out. It just came out.
But you should just say that. Then, don't say just listen to it.
I did.
So you like it?
I haven't listened to it yet.
Oh, fuck.
I just started getting it.
So while he starts that podcast, we should all listen to the Wolverine podcast.
Yeah.
There's that too. You can listen to that if you want. Yeah.
Wait, which one? The one that they do or the one that we will do?
CraigPAnderson.com. If you're a business professional, and you want to become an even better one, unlike
better
us,
professional,
you can go talk to Craig P. Anderson.
Have you ever seen that Kobe commercial, Just Be Better, with Kanye? Kanye is like, no, it's the best commercial you ever see. Kanye is like it's like one of those self-help commercial or groups. Kanye is like, Kobe, what do I do to make better songs? And something like that. And he goes, make better songs. He goes, but I'm already the best. Be better. And then he says something like, but what do I do if I'm already the best? And he says something like, yeah, but are you the beast or also the same thing at the same time?
Clearly not the best. So
Kanye at that point goes, what the fuck are you talking about? He goes, exactly. And that's the end of the commercial. It's awesome.
Right. Take your word for it.
I'm going to pull it up for you later. You're going to watch it.
Nothing.
Yes, you are.
Jimmy.
He wouldn't even watch the Jeep Groundhog Day commercial.
Jimmy Rivera.
I'm going to go to his house and show him all the Fast and Furious movies in a clown suit so he stays up and doesn't fall asleep.
Jimmy Rivera has the Social Forum podcast where they discuss relationship, work, happy hour, social forum, FOUR.
I think they do it during happy hour.
Right after. Oh. And happy hours. Yeah. .buzzsprout. Socialforum.buzzsprout.com. And James Laws, thank you all for your continued support on patreon.com/comicconspiracy.
Yay.
Go to Comic Conspiracy Podcast, geekbox.net, and Apple Podcasts to find all our previous episodes, rate and review. It always helps.
And we're on Spotify.
Yeah, we're on Spotify.
We need to add that to the little thing.
Yeah, we are on Spotify. If you would like, apparently, they can't pay the actual musicians on Spotify, but they paid like a bunch of douchebag podcast networks like millions of dollars to be exclusive with them. Yeah,
where's our money?
Yeah, I haven't sold out yet. YouTube.com/comicsconspiracy. You can find all our episodes.
Yet.
You can find all our...
He's waiting for the DC Daily podcast to get a hold of him.
We're douchey. We're just not quite that douchey.
We're just crazy.
YouTube.com/comicsconspiracy. You can find just all our episodes.
Douche. Yeah, a little douche.
A
little douche.
Episodes in audio format on YouTube and very occasionally some random video content.
Are we going to get your ziplining thing up there?
I don't have any. If you would like to email us, thecomicconspiracy@geekbox.net.
If you do in your Robin costume, it's on.
Is where you can send us emails. And, of course, go to comicsconspiracy.biz, where you can purchase physical comic books from us for mail order or pick up in the store. We've been doing some deals of the day.
Those things go
fast. Very fast.
What kind of deals of the day?
But putting up a bunch of random stuff that we have like one copy left, bunch of out-of-print books, just random stuff that like, my last copy, just someone take it cheap, boom, gone in minutes. So look out for those. I do them very randomly. Don't never want to know where.
Yeah, so random I don't even know about them.
You gotta follow.
It's probably my stuff. You should start selling my. You should start doing deals on Toby's secret stash in the back, and then I'll be the one that's snagging them.
If anyone's looking for a shitload of the new He-Man figures that came out recently, keep an eye on our Deals of the Day podcast or Deals of the Day.
Another podcast, right, man?
Wait, no,
you never want to go home, do you?
This is Charlie's new podcast, right?
Charlie would do an amazing Deals of the Day podcast.
He would. I would absolutely subscribe to it.
Watching this random.
Isn't it weird? It's the weirdest fake Godzilla white Japanese movie of all time.
Go look. I don't know which one it is. Yeah, move the mouse. Let's say
it's super weird.
Let's say. Oh, this is Final Wars. Oh yeah, I never watched Final Wars.
What is Final Wars?
It's just one of the newer Godzilla movies.
Is this like the Crisis of Godzilla movies?
Yeah. I never watched it.
Is it like the white? Is it like the white Godzilla and the Asian Godzilla fighting each other in different universes?
This might be my favorite thing we've ever had on the Shop TV.
It's the most bizarre thing ever. I'm telling you. Like, you should have seen the intro. The intro was like a mix between RoboCop and some, like, Avengers movie. It's really weird. We should do a commentary on this movie.
Yes.
We should absolutely just get together and watch, like, have a few drinks and do a commentary on this movie without subtitles, just like this. No subtitles. We just make our own story up for this. I think this is a nice Patreon tier.
If you would like to hear Brock's what do you do? How do you do? His weekly picks, unboxing videos,
fake unboxing.
Yeah, conspiratorbrock.com is where you can go find that. Doctor Who, if you're a Doctor Who fan.
The little critter just exploded into pieces.
Wanders in the Fourth Dimension podcast, Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. Go please listen to that.
He's got some new episodes.
New series on.
Someone is back.
And leannehill.com is where you can find my wife's artwork. You can also go to etsy.com/shop/leannehillart, and that's all on there.
So next week, Birds of Prey special.
Yeah. Birds of Prey next week, yep. If you are on
my
Twitter,
last episode,
please follow us. Ryan Higgins, Ryan is myself. Brock is Brock Sager. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie is Insanity in Chaos. The store is Comics Con Store.
Which is where you drop those daily deals a lot of time.
Yeah, and Facebook and everything, yeah. And please, if you listen to, if you want to hear more about stuff.
Whoa! A Ninja Turtle with spikes just showed up, man. Whoa!
Including...
Whoa, it's a Power Ranger Ninja Turtle!
Lots of talk about video games and nerdy stuff.
This Star Trek?
This is like the craziest...
stealing that What is going on? That was just literally the
We have to do a commentary on this movie. We have to do a commentary on this movie. Can you scrap, like, all the subtitles?
If you want to hear us talk about Nintendo's 2019 third quarter fiscal reports,
what?
You should
you do that shit on the other podcast? No. You fucking love numbers.
I do.
What is you on the fucking numbers?
Me and Justin do. We talk about like the best-selling games from Nintendo. Well, other companies occasionally, but it's usually Nintendo. And we talk about how Nintendo's first-party games are selling more in 2019 than 2018 and 2017. The same games are selling.
You know why?
Because more people buying Switches, baby.
Exactly.
Already passed the lifetime sale of the Xbox One.
I was going to say, if you say the Wii U, that's not hard to do.
It passed the Super Nintendo recently.
Oh, that makes me sad.
It's coming up on Nintendo. It'll pass Nintendo by the time Animal Crossing comes out. So,
I love the color. I want those Joy-Cons.
You can get them,
and I want that new case with the leaf on it.
Yeah, you get them. That's Geekbox, and of course, our good friends over at Manga Machinations.
Hey, look, it's that Man of Steel scene when Superman is facing the army.
Please go check out Manga Machinations as well, our good friends over there. We are going to wrap up. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for your continued support at patreon.com/comic conspiracy, and we'll catch you next week for our Birds of Prey review.